guys, so today we're going to be unboxing my new monitor. I'm getting a new computer, still waiting for it, but the monitor has already arrived, so we can open it up, see what cables it comes with and which ones I might need to order in. And then also I've already ordered one cable that I knew it wouldn't come with, which literally just arrived. So then once we've unboxed this, we'll see if it works with my old 2009 MacBook Pro and see what we can get happening there. But yeah, so this is the AOC U2790PQU 27-inch 4K IPS monitor. I got it relatively cheap. It was on special at about $350 Aussie, plus like postage and stuff. But hey, not too bad. It's actually quite cheap. So this one, I got it mainly for video editing. So 4K and IPS you wouldn't really use for gaming so much. I didn't get anything with HDR because like I'm not that hardcore into it, but yeah, I think this will be enough for me to get going with my new computer. And like as far as video editing kind of screens go, this one's pretty cheap. So if one day I get hardcore into it, then I can spend like $2,000 to $3,000 on something really good. But for this, $350, I thought this is a pretty good deal. The reviews were pretty good. So yeah, IPS monitors tend to be better for video editing type stuff just because like you can see them from more different angles. Like I think the color's supposed to be better compared to I think TN monitors. I'm not an expert, I only like recently learned all this stuff. But yeah, so whereas for gaming you'd usually use TN monitors, and I think that's because they have a faster response time. This one apparently has an okay response time of, what is it, 5 milliseconds or, oh, I didn't write it down. But yeah, no, the response time's not bad as far as these monitors go, but it's not going to be as fast as a gaming monitor. Also 4K, you need a pretty good gaming computer to run 4K, and you know, I'm doing video, so it's kind of a different thing, and I just want to be able to see more stuff on screen. I did consider getting 2 screens, but I just don't have the space, so I thought I'd go for 4K instead, just so that I have more like screen real estate and can see the different things that I'm doing. Not necessarily video editing, but like other things I do. I like to like open a bunch of windows and so on. So instead of getting 2 screens that I don't have space for, one big screen with more pixels. We'll see how that goes. Also, it's got a contrast ratio of 1000:1, which is the same as my current screen, and so, you know, that's fine. I don't need any more. Brightness is 350 nits, which is actually brighter than my old monitor, which was already too bright. I had to turn that one down. I've heard criticism of this monitor for the brightness because, like, it's not as much as some of the higher end ones, and I think if you want, like, more HDR type stuff, I mean, this isn't HDR capable, but I think for that you want more nits. For me though, like, you know, the brightness, better than my old monitor, which was already too much for me. So I think that'll work out well. It's got 3 inputs. There's 2 HDMI, one in the older and one in the newer standard, and then it's also got a DisplayPort, and I've got, once this new computer arrives, I'll have 3 computers. So I'm hoping to hook all of them up at once so that I can just like log into whichever computer and not have to muck around with cables. So with the MacBook Pro, it did have Mini-DisplayPort on it back then. So I've got a Mini-DisplayPort to HDMI connector, and we'll see how that goes. But obviously old computer may not really, like, I don't expect 4K out of it, so I'll probably have to adjust that, but we'll see how that goes. Other things about this, it claims to be frameless. I don't know what that means. I think that's more relevant if you're going to put 2 together, which I'm not, so I don't really care. It's also got clear vision, which I don't know what that is. It's flicker free though, so originally I was considering buying a screen from Dell, because that's where my computer's coming from. I'm getting Alienware, but yeah, the Dell one cost twice as much, and it seemed fine, the reviews were fine, but the main criticism was that it has this annoying flicker, and because I'm not sure if my current screen has that same, like it's pulse wave modulation or something in terms of how they adjust screen brightness, and I don't know if my old screen has it, so I don't know if that's something I'm sensitive to, so I thought, well, I'll just find something that's flicker free, and it turns out to be half the price, so I'm like, hell yeah, I'm not getting that Dell screen, so that was the thing. Other things that are going to be cool to try, apparently you can adjust the height, the pivot, the swivel, and the tilt. So, you know, that'll be good because I'm putting it in a new space and, you know, I don't know how it's going to look compared to my old screen. You know, I really want those adjustments. Just because, yeah, it's going to be a different, I'm putting it on different desks with different heights and stuff. I need to be able to get that right. And then it's also got built-in speakers, which I'm not going to use, but, you know, I guess if you really needed them, kind of handy. I don't know why you would bother to build in speakers, really. I'll be putting my own ones in, occasionally be using my fancy audio monitors. So yeah, anyway, that's all this stuff. So we'll get to opening it and see what's inside and get up to testing it. Okay, so the first thing, it comes with this color calibration data sheet, and it reckons that all of these monitors are calibrated before shipping to ensure like accuracy and whatever. And mine's saying that, I think all of them are saying 100% in this thing. I don't know what this graph means, but like if you're into that kind of stuff, could be kind of useful, I don't know. Also in the box, we've got a warranty brochure that's got like Australia followed by New Zealand and a bunch of other countries. We've also got a CD that's got drivers and some other software in it. And yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is this monitor apparently has like a USB hub kind of thing, so that could be kind of useful. Alright, here's all the cables that it comes with. So obviously we've got the power cord. I think that's a DisplayPort cable. And this one I think is a USB cable. I think it's an A to B. And I'm pretty sure that's to get your USB hub working. And then we've got a thing, I guess, for connecting the speakers. Okay, so in the back of the foamy thing here, we've got what looks like the base, and this is the stand. It's actually, both of these things are quite heavy. And then here is the screen itself. So let's put things together, shall we? Oh, so it has an energy rating thing. So if that's kind of something you're interested in. And actually, just before we put it together, so let's take a look at the back, and so, you know, before we put the stand in, it's easier to see a lot of this stuff. So here we've got the power cable and the switch to turn it on. And then coming along to here, we've got HDMI 1, HDMI 2, and DisplayPort. And then over here, we've got the sound. And up here is for USB, so I think that's the one to plug in your the USB hub kind of thing, and then here are the two USB outs. So the yellow one, I'm pretty sure, means it's you can do recharging from that, so power comes out of it, and then that one's just the data USB. You've also got I guess these are the speakers here and here, and then there's a little joystick, and that's for, like, you know, changing the options on screen. So rather than other screens we have buttons underneath, like in this sort of area, they've opted for a joystick, which I've heard depends on what you're into, I suppose, but I've heard some good reviews about that kind of thing. Alright, so let's attach the stand. Pretty easy. Alright, now the base. Okay, so the base I found a little bit trickier to put on because, like, there's these, you can just sort of see there's these two little hooks that go down first, and then they sort of pop onto those things, and then you've got this that you screw in. But also the base is actually where the swivel is, and so yeah, it swiveled a bit while I was trying to put it in, and then like I just got stuck when that wasn't in enough. But what's nice about how this connects is, like, they put this little thing on there, so you just lift that up, and then it makes it easier to do it, to actually, like, hook it in without having to use any tools. So that's a really nice touch. Time to take off all the plastic. Now I know, like, you know, this plastic stuff is to keep it shiny and whatever, but I live with dogs and all that, so, like, there's no way any of this stuff is gonna stay this shiny and nice. So I don't mind taking off all the plastic before I'm putting it into my space. You know, like, you can already see there's little bits of dog hair sticking around to it. What can you do? Alright, so yeah, I can kind of see what they mean by frameless. Like, compared to my old screen, that is such a tiny amount there. Like, wow, that's insane. Like, the main bit where you get a kind of frame is just at the bottom where they've got, you know, this part. But, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Okay, so before I plug it in, I want to show you all the adjustments that you can make. So the first one we know quite well is this one. Sort of swivels really nicely, like it's really smooth, and you can go so far. Like, I'm not gonna need that much. And then you've got the screen tilt, which goes like this, or all the way back like that. I hope you can't see all the fingerprints I've already put on it. That's one of the problems with, like, having no frame, is like there's nothing for me to hold on to. It keeps awkward. I suppose if I went like that, maybe that's a better way to do it. I've never had a screen like this, so yeah, I'm already mucking things up. But anyway, another thing is the height. So if you just sort of push down, it's not too hard, and like coming up is really easy. I think going down is the harder one, and that's probably because like once you've adjusted the height, you don't want it to like fall down, but you can always lift it up really easily, which is good. I'm glad it doesn't take too much effort because, you know, I'm just little me. And then the craziest thing that it does, so you can tilt the screen, right? You can go a little bit this way, but the main thing is you can go all the way. This is insane. Like, hang on, I think I have to be higher. No, I am high, okay. And then you go like this. And then you can have it full on portrait. Why would I ever need this? I don't know. I just like, I guess I've seen people doing it if you're doing like phone type stuff, you know, developing an app maybe, but yeah, that's insane. This is something I absolutely do not need, but it's kind of amusing to just see. I've never seen a computer screen do this in real life. So for me, that's like, wow, what a world. So plugging in the power was pretty easy. You know, you just pop it in there. You do have to put a little bit of force into it, but it was fine. And then they've got this sweet little cable management system, which I think is a really nice touch. Okay, so something that I just realized with my Mac is that I'm probably going to have to install a driver to get it to work with the screen, and I'm just a little bit worried that because it's so old, it's still running Snow Leopard, it might struggle, but we'll try this and see if it works. Cross fingers for me because I really don't want to have to connect this machine to the internet. I've kept it offline for ages, so yeah, we'll see. Alright, damn, so it looks like they're only Windows drivers, so I probably am going to have to go online. I mean, I guess I could hook it up and see if it works, but yeah. Alright, new strategy. On the upside, it's good to know that this old CD drive still works because most of my friends who had similar models of computer, their CD drives did not last as long as this one has, so good 10 years from that. Alright, I'm just going to try it with the without a driver and see if it works. So I'm just gonna open this and we'll give it a go. All right, here we go. Mini-DisplayPort to HDMI. All right, let's see if this works. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Holy crap, guys, it works. So I had a little bit of a panic moment because when I turned on the power at the back, nothing happened on the screen. It turns out you've got to use the little joystick and just push it in and then it'll turn on. And look, it's already connected. That's my freaking, shall we open something, which way? This way? Oh my God! Oh my God, guys, this is insane. Holy crap, this works really well with this computer. Like straight away, it connected to my 2009 MacBook Pro. I didn't have to install any drivers or anything. I'm really happy with that, and the color looks really nice. Of course, it's gonna be hard to show exactly on camera what's going on, but I'm super impressed. That's insane. I could open like, I mean, I don't want to stress out the computer too much, but I could open up my Logic files and, you know, play around with music and, yeah, actually see what I'm doing. Okay, now as for the 4K thing, I can kind of see on my phone that this is way too bright for you to see it there. But with the 4K thing, so I've just opened up settings on my Mac to see what the different screens are doing. On my Mac itself, it's running at a resolution of, what is that, 1280 by 800. It's like relatively low. So this is a 4K monitor, right? But because this is such an old machine and, you know, I don't know what it has for graphics card and all that, but super old. So it's actually running this screen in 1080p, but it is running at 600 Hertz, which is the maximum for this screen. So that's like I'm really impressed that this was so easy and that my MacBook Pro actually works with this screen, because yeah, when I used to do a lot more music, I would hook in this little thing to my old screen, which went through a mini DisplayPort adapter to, was it VGA or DVI? I don't remember, one of those things, and I'd have to use an adapter cable and just muck around with stuff, and it was a pain in the butt. I was able to keep both my computers connected, but yeah. And it worked fine, and it's really nice to have two screens available and all that. But yeah, I'm just really impressed with how nice this looks. And then once I get all three computers set up on the same desk, I'll be able to keep plugging this one in again and have a much nicer screen, a much bigger screen than what this offers, and obviously higher resolution. Because like even at 1080p, it's still higher resolution than what that little screen on its own is doing. Like I will have more pixels. So yeah, I'm really impressed, and I can't wait to get my new computer and hook that up. I am going to have to get an HDMI cable for my old computer, so what I'm planning to do is use this screen with the new computer using DisplayPort, and because I don't think my old Dell has a DisplayPort connection, so I'll be doing that one on HDMI, and I'll use that one on HDMI 2, the later standard, whereas with this one, because it only does 1080p, I'm planning to put that on HDMI 1.4, I think, is the slower one on this screen. So yeah, and then I'll have all three screens hooked up, and it'll just make it heaps easier to switch between the different computers. I am keeping my old Dell for a while, just until, like, you know, I'm confident that everything's moved across. Also good to have a backup machine, and, you know, it has its own hard drive, so I can back things up across three computers. Just to make sure, like, you know, I've got everything. I should get like an external backup. I've got an external backup for the Mac, but I should get one for the PCs as well, and just like general data. But yeah, I'm really happy. Obviously we'll have a look at this screen, like how it's operating with the new computer, because this one can't, you know, make the most of it. But I'm super impressed. So for the price, $350 for this screen, yeah, wow. And I can also, like, if I take photos of like the serial number or something, I can send it into AOC and get like a $50 voucher back if I do it before the end of January, I think. So if you take that into consideration, and if I can get like a good gift card for somewhere good, I think it's one of those flexi ones where you get to choose. In effect, this is kind of like a $300 monitor. And it's amazing, like, you know, 4K, nice colors. And, you know, the IPS thing, actually, I've never really considered the IPS thing because I didn't know it was a thing. But when I look at this, compared to my old monitor, I can see the difference. I understand what people are talking about now, because, like, the TN monitor, it doesn't bother me so much that, like, when you look from the side, you know, it looks a bit funny. But this is so clear. It's insane. And I haven't even played with any of the settings yet. So, you know, freaking wow. Like, technology these days. Obviously it's not the most high end, and there's some newer features that are missing, but like for someone like me, this is all I need. So I'm heaps impressed, and yeah, wow. So I'm heaps excited. I can't wait for my new computer to come in, but I've got to finish cleaning up my room, making some space. I've made some space for the monitor to go in. I just yeah, oh my god, there's so much dust. It's a nightmare, but awesome. I'm really happy with this purchase. And don't think I have anything else to say there. Okay, so one thing that wasn't quite obvious when we first unpacked it, you know how I was talking about this edge? Yeah, so actually the screen itself, like where it shows the image, doesn't quite go to the edges, and I don't think that's just because my Mac only does 1080p. I think that might actually be how it is, because I'm pretty sure that's what I saw on the images when I was researching it. So yeah, it kind of has this illusion of it coming, you know, right to the edge, but actually when you're working on it, it does have a bit of a border, which gives me a little bit of leeway for all my shitty fingerprints and so on, I guess. And yeah, it makes me feel less weird. Like if it did go right to the edges, I would feel very strange about that. I kind of like to have a bit of a border just for like, I feel a bit more secure about it. So yeah, that's kind of just an interesting thing. If you were hoping for a screen that goes all the way to the edge, that's not the case. I don't really know if there are monitors that do that. Probably are, but yeah, I'm not an expert or anything. Yeah, so, but it does, like, the way they've done it does look nice. Like, there's no obvious break in the screen. Like, it's all the same kind of texture. Whereas, like, with my older screen, it kind of has, like, a plastic thing around there or something like that. I don't know. It just looks really nice. It's kind of a similar thing to what's happening on my old MacBook Pro, this 2009 thing. So you see, like, the part that's, like, actually plastic and metal and whatever is just around here. And then it seems like this is screen. It's all the same texture across here. But actually, where the image shows is is just in there. So it's kind of the same with this screen. It's kind of nice that they match in that way. But yeah, no, interesting stuff. It's just like with the Mac, obviously, it's a much bigger one compared to this tiny little strip. So yeah, if that interests you, worth knowing. Thanks for watching.